What's up, people? Today I'm going to show you the exact land drill that we use to dial in the pig dog stance. I've been here in Nicaragua the last few years working relentlessly on my tube riding, and today I'm going to talk about the most common mistake I see when surfers are going for the pig dog stance, what you need to do differently to start making tubes on your backside, and why this land drill works. So let's get right into it. What you should understand about surfing in general is that your board responds entirely to the inputs that your body puts into the board. So if you find yourself getting in the pig dog stance and dropping all the way to the bottom, it's because that your body is telling the board to go to the bottom of the wave. To fix this, we need to look at three key areas of the body. First, your head. Where you look is where you go. Super important. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but we can't go anywhere that we're not looking toward. So head is first. Second is your chest. We need to have our chest pointed down the line in the direction that we want to go in order for the board to follow us. And third is our hips. And this is the most important of the pig dog stance, is actually pointing our hips towards where we want to go. Because if we have our hips opened up, pointed down the line, our chest will then be able to open up, our head will then be pointed there, and we can successfully ride down the midline of the wave, pull into the barrel, and make it out. Now the issue that I see with most surfers is that when they go for the pig dog stance, we can pretend the wave is this little rail here, is that when they pop up and grab the rail, their hips are pointed completely toward the beach. And so when our hips are pointed completely toward the beach, our chest then follows, our head then follows, and it makes it really hard to actually open up and look down the midline of the wave and pull into the barrel. And instead, when our hips, chest, and head are pointed this way, we end up wearing the lip on the head and having a disastrous wipeout. All three of these body parts, our head, our chest, and our hips, need to be pointed directly down the midline of the wave in order to pull into the barrel and make it out. And so I'm going to show you this land drill that's going to help align the three parts of your body in order to stay on the midline of the wave and make the tube. So here's the land drill to dial in your pig dog stance. What you're going to do is you're going to get up to next to a wall, and you're going to pop up next to the wall into your perfect pig dog stance. So when you pop up, you're going to be here, and we're going to build the perfect stance from the bottom up. So first is your hips. When you pop up into your pig dog stance, what you want to do is pop up and put this hip into the wall, and this is going to force your hips to be open. Most surfers, they'll pop up and they'll end up just grabbing the rail with their hips pointed toward the beach. That's not what we want. We want to put this thigh up onto the wall to make sure that our hips are open. And a tip to do this is to pop up with your front foot not directly in the middle of the board, not onto the stringer, but a little bit closer to your inside rail. If our foot's there on the stringer of the board, versus being a little bit more open, closer to the inside rail, it helps us open up our hips even more. Second thing to consider when trying to open up your hips is your back knee. We want the back knee to be either touching the board or very close to touching the board. If we have our back knee up in this stance, it's actually a lot harder to open up our hips. As soon as we put the back knee down, we're able to open up our hips even more and get them pointed down the midline of the wave. When we're popping up in our perfect pig dog stance, the second part we need to be aware of is our chest. So if we pop up, leg on the wall, hips open, knee close down, where is our chest? Our chest should be right over this front knee. And the way to make sure that our chest is over is we can take our inside arm and put it up against the wall as well. And so when we're in this stance, our hips and our chest are completely aligned to go right down the middle of the wave and actually make the barrel instead of being closed off here. And third, our head. If we have our hips open, our chest open, our head should naturally follow down the line. And this is going to be crucial because when you drop in, a lot of times when we're closed off, we can't even see what's happening with the wave, and we end up wearing it on the head, wondering what the hell just happened. But if we're completely open, riding down the midline of the wave, we can see that barrel form up in front of us and take the proper line to get in and actually make it out. The pig dog is an incredibly awkward stance if you haven't dialed it in yet. So that's why it's so important to get on land, get next to a wall, and practice this perfect pig dog stance so that when the good waves come, your body's already built muscle memory and you can completely lock in. So once you have this open stance dialed in on land, take it on a bigger board and smaller waves, and you'll see how much easier it is to hold a high line on a slow, soft wave when you have your hips, your chest, and your head all open, pointing down the line. Then when the swell actually arrives and it's time to charge, You'll have this stance dialed in, your muscle memory will be built, and you'll be able to open up in this perfect pig dog stance to actually pull in and start making backside barrels. So hopefully you found this useful. Dial in the practice, let me know how it goes, and follow me for more value.